Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today we're going to make a mini file folder booklet with a pocket and page flips. But first, let's have our shout out to Brenda, Lenny, Julie, Dawn, Colleen, My Lucy, Kelly, Shelley, Denise, Paula, and Diane's Designs. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, you guys, I have some botanicals here. This came out of a clip art book that I ordered off of Amazon, and aren't they just beautiful? So they look like this, and I really think what I want to do, I love that yellow one and I love that red one. Ooh, isn't that one pretty too? Let's see what these three might look with the paper that we're going to use. Now, this is a new paper pad for me. It is Bo Bunny, 36 pages of Tuxedos and Tara's collection. And I bought it at a local store. It has beautiful, beautiful papers in it. They're all black and white. I just love that. So what I did with them is I took a few out, and you know me, I had to coffee dye the back of them. So in doing so, some of the coffee gets on the front, and I really like how that looks. There's some down here on this one, and then there's some right here on this one. I just love how that all looks. So let's take our little pictures here. I was really thinking I wanted to use the red because I have this for my pocket, and I thought that went beautiful. So let's decide which paper is the one that I want to use as my mini file folder. Oh, I'm liking that one a lot. Let's see this one. That one's beautiful too. Let's pull it down so y'all can see better. So there's that one. There's this one, and there's this one. I don't know, there's something about this contrast that I really like. So I want to go with this one. And what I want to do is I want to cut this down to 6 inches by 8 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mark it. And that's right where the perforation is that came from the company. And then let's look here and see what this is. Oh, I don't have to do anything except cut this off right here. You see how it's perforated? And I'm going to, hopefully this will fit in here, and we can cut that right off. I won't have to do a thing, and I'll use up the whole piece. All right, that's lovely. Now let's go ahead and just fold it. And I do have one that I have completed, so I can show you what that looks like at the end. So I'm just going to, now you can make these any size you want. If you want to make them larger, you could make them larger if you had a larger piece of cardstock. This is cardstock. Or smaller if you wanted to do a real tiny one. So I'm going to go ahead and round the corners right here. I thought I could do them both at once. I think I can. There we go. And then I'm going to just quickly ink around the edges just a little bit here on both sides, just to get it to, you know, have that look we all desire. So now what I want to do is I better just do this very quickly. One side I don't think you're going to be able to see very much. The other one, yes, the one that we're going to put the flip book on, yeah, you're going to be able to see it just a little bit. So we better get this done. And I'm just going really quick there. On the front, I want to put that botanical picture. So I'm going to paper clip this, and I'm hoping I can keep it out of the way. Nope, that's not going to work. Let's try a smaller one. Maybe that'll hold it in place a little closed. You know, I want them to hold it, this paper closed. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my beautiful picture. Oh my goodness, that's going to look stunning on there. And I'm going to go ahead and ink around the edge. So I'm going to do that just like that. And then I'm going to bring in some photo corners. You know, those little things. Now these are really old and they've kind of lost a lot of their sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tombow glue and I'm going to just put a little bit on the corner there. And then I'm going to pull this off and I'm going to stick it right on there with that glue that's right on there. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stick it right on there, and yeah, well, it stuck to my finger, didn't it? It's going to, you know, have a little glue seep out, but that's okay because I want to really make sure that these stay in place. I don't want them to move around on me. Now I'm going to have to hold it upright because of the fact that this is sticky a little bit on the back. Even though they're old, they do have a little bit of stick left. So I'm going to do it like that. Just wipe that off. Move it around like this. This is really the only tedious part to this little project. And you know, if you have really new photo corners, if yours are new, you probably wouldn't have to go ahead and glue them on like this. But because mine are older, and I mean older, like maybe 5 years, they've kind of lost a lot of their stick. So I don't want to run the risk of it not sticking, so I'm going to fix it like that. Alright, so now that they're on, just like this, this one's a little crooked, get it back down there where it's supposed to be. I'm going to bring my mini file folder over, and I'm kind of going to use my little lines on my glass mat, and I'm going to say, okay, how about if I lay it right there? And I can already see that my paper clips are going to be a problem. So let's move them over just a tiny bit. Okay, I think I can do this. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring back my Tombow glue, and I'm going to just glue the edges of this right like this. I'm not trusting these photos to corners to hold it tightly. I need it to really be stuck on there. So here we go. I'm going to just place it right down just like this, and then I'm going to push it down. Oh my, isn't that beautiful on there? I just love that. All right, the next thing I want to do is, now in my example, I have sewn around the edge. Now I'm not going to sew around the edge so you can see the difference between the two, but I am going to add a little lace down this side. So I have a little bit of lace. Let's see. I think I'm going to do this one a little different than I did my first one. Let's add this lace. In my first one, my example that I made, I used this one. Oh, we're going to do it this way because then I do some black lace. So let's just go ahead and do it this way. I've changed my mind. I'm going to do it just like I did the first time. And I'm going to use my glue gun because it's just quick and easy for these videos. You do not have to use a glue gun. You can use some type of fabric tack, or you could use even whatever glue that you like that does fabric. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you like, that's the glue you should use. So I'm just going to trim this off. I'm going to get my tiny little scissors here. I'm just going to trim it off just like this. The next thing, so let's look at it. Oh, that's really pretty, isn't it? So pretty. Now the next thing I have is a piece of black lace. It came off of a bolt. You can buy it by the yard. And what I want to do is I want to turn this, same place that we put the first lace, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take my card, my plastic card, and I'm going to pleat, do some little pleats. Now, you don't have to, once again, you don't have to have a hot glue gun. You can use whatever glue that you're using to glue that fabric on. You can use it to glue this lace on. And I'm just going to do a little bit at a time, and I'm just going to take it, I'm just going to bunch it up just like this with my card. And that gives you this lacy look. Okay, you can make little, give it a lacy look. It's lace. How is it going to give it any more lacy look? That was goofy. I meant to say it's going to ruffle it. You're going to ruffle it that way. Can't look any lacier than it looks now, Kathy. So we're ruffling it. So I'm just putting a little bit, pushing and pushing and holding it down, just like that. And see, you're getting a little ruffle. So I'm going, as opposed to it being flat. So you can see the difference, flat, ruffled. So you can see the two. So I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to put a little more glue right here, lay this down, and then just push. Just push. Okay. So there we have it. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Now what I need to do is I need to cut off this extra. I got a little extra going on here, and I need to get rid of it. So I'm just going to hold it up, and I'm just going to trim the lace where it connects to the paper with your glue. Just checking to make sure I'm in frame. I'm just trimming it off. I don't need all that. Now I suppose you could have started with less lace, not as wide, and not have to trim it, but this is just the way I did it the first time, and it seemed to work so well that I decided to just do it this way in my example to y'all. So it's like that. So is it, I'll lay it down, you can see it better. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness, that's so, so pretty. Now I'm going to trim off just a little bit more right here. There. Yeah, I like that a little better. And the next thing I want to do is I have a Tracy Fox label, and I'm going to fold it in, whoopsie, I'm going to fold it in half, just like this. I've already inked around it, but I'm just going to ink where it's folded. And I'm going to use this as my tab, and I'm just going to glue it on about right there. So first I need to glue it together. So I'm not going to use that glue. I'm going to use my tumble glue to glue it together, because sometimes the hot glue will make it a bump, and I don't want a bump. I want it to be flat, smooth. Alrighty, there we are. Now I'm going to place it about right there. So I just need to, let's just put it right here. There we go. And just place this right here. Once again, you can use any glue you want. I just used hot glue because it's quick, and I can show you. So that's the tab right there. And then inside, let's go ahead and put our little side tuck. So all I'm going to need to do is trim off a little bit more here. We're going to cover it up right over that lace, just like that. But see right here, it's sticking out that much from the edge, and it won't be able to allow this little mini file folder to close. So I need to take off just a little bit more. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take off a little bit more like this. Now let's look at it. It will go close just fine, won't it? Yeah, it's a little long on this side, so I think I'll take it off here. And maybe just a tiny bit more right here. Okay. Now, move everything out of the way. Get back to this. And it's going to go right here. Now, as I look at this, I'm thinking, did I take it down? I took it down just a little bit further. I just checked my example. I took it down just a little further. So it's not right where you fold it, because this is going to be a side tuck. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to take it off here or here? maybe a little bit of both. So I'm actually going to just put it back in my little guillotine and chop it off just a little bit more and look at it. Let's look at that. Oh, that's plenty. We don't need to take any more than that off. And I'm going to grab my circle punch. Sorry guys, I thought I had it on my table, but I did not. And I'm going to decide where the middle is. It's about right here. And I'm going to take my circle punch and just punch out a notch. And I'm going to need to ink this up. Now, I'm also going to need to round the corners on the bottom, or on this one, this edge, and this corner, and this corner. The other two, I will not need to round it, but I will need to round it right there because those other ones are rounded, those other corners are rounded, and I want it all to fit together. All right, so I'm just lightly inking it just to give it that look that we all desire. And when I did the first one, I sewed around. So I didn't sew until after I put this piece on. But I'm not going to sew this one. I am going to actually just attach it like this. So I think I'm going to attach my sides, these two sides, with my Tombow and this one with my hot glue. So, because I know Tombow would just take way too long to get stuck to my lace, and the hot glue will not. Okay, so now I'm going to add my hot glue right onto here. Alrighty, and then let's add this right here. Just like that. Okay, that's our pocket, our side tuck, I should say. Just going to make sure that this holds down. It looks like it's holding very well, but I'm just going to make sure. Alrighty, so something to put in the side tuck. I have this beautiful vintage letter that is half of a vintage letter. I cut the half off, put it in my example tuck, side tuck, and this is a Roxy's creation. So I'm just going to kind of measure a little bit about where I want this. You know, I'm looking at the envelope and I'm saying, well, I need to make it so it fits in the envelope, and then, you know, I'm not sure how much that hot glue spread. Usually it doesn't spread too much, but I'm just going to stick it in here to check it out. Okay, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and do it just like that. Now, I see that I got a little bit of the Tombow glue on here when I stuck it in there, so I'm not sure I'm ready to really stick that in there yet, and it might be a little wide. So I'm going to need to take just a tiny bit of this off, just to make it easy to stick into the pocket. Now you know that we need to ink it up just a little bit. I'd open it up and really ink it up well, but right now just giving you the idea, and I'm just going to leave it out like that. I'm not going to stick it all the way in because I really think that that looks pretty. Now on this side, what I want to do, oh yeah, here I've got this earring. I buy earrings at thrift stores when they're very inexpensive, and look at this dangle one. You can get all these beads off and use them. So that's what I did. I took one of those beads off and I put it on a light bulb safety pin. Look at there, isn't that pretty? And I thought that I would take this and I would just loop it right here on the lace. And let's see here if I can get this placed on here, just like that. Oh my goodness, that just adds a little movement and a little something something to it, and it's very vintage looking. It goes very well with this project. Now for this side, I want a little flip book on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my coffee dye paper the long way, just like this. I'm going to crease it. I need to get rid of some of the stuff that's on my desk. And I'm going to fold it once again the long way, end to end. I'm going to crease it. Then I'm going to bring my guillotine in, and I'm going to cut off this part right here because I want to keep this fold right here, because we're going to have a flip book going this way. So I'm going to trim off right here, this way, and then I need to look and see, how much more do I really need to trim off? I think we should trim it off. I'll move my pencil. Oh, how about if we do it about right? I want to make sure it fits nicely inside. So I'm going to trim off just a little bit more so it will fit right inside underneath file folder. And I noticed that my bottom isn't very even, so I want to take off a little bit on the bottom, just like that. Alrighty. And then I'm going to bring in my corner rounder. I'm going to round my corners. In my example, I think I went ahead and I inked up some of my edges. So I'm just going to lightly do that. Just at least the top one, just to give it a look. Then what I did was I brought in my Stays On ink, and I brought in one of my corner stamps, and I went ahead and decided that I would stamp these. So I wanted to do one going maybe up like this, and then maybe having one going down over here. I'm altering where I'm putting these corner stamps just for some added interest. When you flip it, I wanted it to be a little different and not have the stamp in the exact same place all the way through the flip, because I wanted to use the same stamp. So that was my thinking on that. So I'm going to do that. There we go. That's all done. Let's put this up very quickly here. And then let's bring in our stapler. Well, I still had it the same way. I should have alternated. I didn't do a very good job, guys, of alternating. Well, you know what I mean. In my example, I alternated. All right, let's do a little staple here and a staple here. And on the front one, I should have done it down below. All these should have done, guys. I should have done. Now, I'm going to take my washi tape, and I'm going to end up covering my stamp just a little bit, but that's all right. That's why I said I should have done it on the bottom, but it's okay. You're getting the idea. And I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to pull it around just like that, so the washi's around. I'm going to take a little bit of that washi, and just to give it a little interest on the back page, I'm going to just place a little washi back here, just for a little something something. Isn't that pretty? That's very pretty. Now, with this one that I have stapled together, it's just 4 pages here, but it makes a nice flip. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I have to add another glue stick in here quickly. And then I'm going to add my glue, my hot glue right here. And then I'm going to add it right here, right on there, just like that, and hold it still. And there is the flip book. It just flips just like this. I shouldn't have done any on the top, but you could actually do a little flower there if you want to, and I want to change that up just a little bit. How about if I pick maybe this flower? That kind of looks like That, no, I don't like that one. This one. Maybe this one. Oh yeah, that one will work. Okay, get my little mount. We're going to fix this issue that I created for myself because I really wasn't paying any attention to what was going on. I'm going to just do this like this. Well, there you go. That looks great. Now let's fix this one. There we go. That's all it needs to make that look like I intended to put that like that. Oh my goodness. All right, so let me show you my example. So the example looks like this. And this paper, this striped paper, is out of the exact paper pad that I was showing you. And look at the difference between the sewn and the not sewn. You really can't tell that much difference. And then inside this one, it looks like this. And then of course the pages flip up like that. Put the little washi on the back, and then it's got the same little letter that's vintage. It's got a little shabby-dabby-doo-dah and some Tracy Fox right there. And I love this project. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.